Thank you so much for joining me. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. I hope you're doing well. Now, we have a long cold front that is on the way. Out ahead of it, a big warm up. Look at these temperatures and look how they change. Now, tomorrow, there's going to be a collision of the cold air sweeping down from the north and that warm Caribbean air for us lifting up to the north. Right in this pocket here, that's where they collide near Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana, even close to parts of western Texas. And that's where there could be severe storms. When you get that collision of different air masses, the warm and the cold, that's where you could get some severe thunderstorms. Now, as we work our way into the upcoming weekend, this is by Saturday morning, we get that long cold front draped all the way down toward the southern United States. So some colder air sweeping in back behind it. But this cold front doesn't get too terribly far down to the south. It's not like what we had with that southern snow in parts of the United States. And you can see here, as we go out in time, that front will quickly depart. And then as we work our way into next week, this is a pretty good sized warm up, lifting well to the north for many. So overall, we've had a warming trend this week, right? Next week, an even bigger warming trend, but that also means we need to watch out not for just the chance of snow and ice in some spots, but that chance of some severe storms with some of that warmer air with some of that kind of almost tropical moisture feeding in. Now, one little pocket of some snow, I'll zoom down to that in just a second. Here's that moisture. You see it feeding in right across Mexico into Texas as I combined words there for you. That will kind of work in to be our next system, and over toward British Columbia in the western United States. It's going to get very busy next month with some bigger systems that will start to work in. So I want to highlight that as well in just a second. But you can see here a couple of the systems we're watching as we zoom down, and we've been seeing some rain and some snow in spots from overnight. I've been monitoring that. There's some of that snow as you get toward parts of New England that I mentioned, a little system just kind of sneaking in right there, sliding in some of that snow parts of Quebec, Ontario, some of the snow over toward the Great Lakes. And there's that moisture back toward parts of Texas, Brownsville, up toward Houston, coming in out of Mexico. And that is going to feed in to be the next system. Now, as we jump off to the west of there's not a lot yet, a little bit of rain, parts of California, over toward parts of Arizona, but bigger systems will be sliding in back to the west. Now, let's get to what's going on here. You can see a couple of these spotty showers we're seeing in some spots this morning. Just looking at some of that cloud cover, Panama lifting up to the north, watching out for some of that moisture. Still near Suriname, Guyana, could get a couple passing showers across Trinidad, Jamaica, a couple little showers. And I'll show you in a moment a little front that will try to scrape us by in Puerto Rico, U.S. and British Virgin Islands. Not a big front though, just kind of sliding by Anguilla and Antigua, Barbuda. So here's the setup, and this is what's going on next. Here is that system that's going to be developing into that really long front. All of this energy out here. That's what I'm going to keep an eye on. I like to watch what's next for you. But out ahead of this system, we have that warm southerly flow that's with us, and there's that mini system departing the Atlantic region of Canada. I'll zoom down into that in just a moment. So going out in time further, this is tomorrow, and you see everything starting to build right in through here. Now, I mentioned a moment ago that colder air to the north, the warmer air to the south. So right in this pocket here, that's where we could see some severe thunderstorms. And then you start to see some of these bigger systems getting closer to British Columbia and then stretching all the way down to parts of California. And that will play into the overall forecast as we get into next month. And you can see here, this is by the time we get into Friday, there is that long stretch front all the way down through the Gulf. You see it right there, clipping the Yucatan Peninsula. Little bit of colder air sneaking in on the north side. I'll zoom down to that snow potential in a moment. And there we go, starting to work in parts of California and then up to the north, swinging back toward western Canada, just pumping in some of that moisture where it has been so dry in some spots. All right, let's go on time further. This here is by Saturday. Now that front moves across Bermuda, but it doesn't dive so far down to the south. So we still have that warm flow across the Caribbean. And then swinging back here, you see some of the snow, some of the rain, just bigger systems that continue, look at that, continue to pump in. Now, as we get into a week from now, not only watching that, but look at this building We'll see how this takes shape. There could be a little bit more in the way of some icing or snow, a little bit more to the south with this one, but I mentioned there's still going to be that warm air surge. But as we get into a week from now, watching our next kind of bigger system here, and then watching these large systems rolling into parts of Western Canada and the Western United States, and we'll see how far south they get if they clip us by in the Caribbean. Now, this morning I've been watching some of the snow. I zoomed down to that, but watching that near Prince Edward Island, for example, we could get some of that snow as we go throughout the day, coming out of New Brunswick, watching Nova Scotia, moving back toward Newfoundland, and then we watch our next system here. So this one departs as we work our way into tomorrow. Still chance of some snow showers around over toward Newfoundland, but here's that next front, that warm air out ahead of it. So we'll watch out for that severe weather threat with that collision of the cold and the warm for tomorrow. Then look how this evolves as this kind of stretches out and lifts to the north. It runs into some of the colder air. So that's why you see this white showing up parts of Michigan, back toward parts of New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine. That's some of the snow on the north side of this. A little bit of that mix and that pink shading you're seeing there, which could be a mix of rain and snow or some sleet, which are some ice pellets. And then you see how long this front is, but not diving down too far to the south. There's that snow. This would be Friday night into Saturday morning. Maine over toward parts of New Brunswick, stretching back toward Newfoundland by the time we get into Saturday morning. So you see how that system evolves and moves off. And then at that point, we'll be watching off to the west. My friends in Bermuda, most of the energy with this one is going to be up to the north. So as far as the snow goes, the additional snow with this, well, we're watching our typical spots that have some of that snow cover by the time we get through the weekend into next week. We're not looking at a southern snow, but that next system could bring a little bit more snow to, say, parts of Texas, maybe the Panhandle, once we get into the middle of next week. Now, watching the rain here, this is where we're in the warm sector of everything. Spotty showers, Barbados, St. Lucia, Trinidad, Guyana today, even Panama, Costa Rica, a couple, but there's going to be a little front right in through here that's going to try to dive down, but it's not going to play a big factor. It's not going to be a big factor into the forecast. Hit or miss shower, Cayman Islands, Jamaica, this is tomorrow. A couple Dominican Republic, maybe one or two in Haiti, but there's the just very, very tail end of a front. Not a big deal. It's not going to, you may not even know it's there. Watching Anguilla, Antigua, Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis. And then as we work our way into Friday, hit or miss shower around Dominican Republic, Honduras, Nicaragua, we could get a couple. And then keeping an eye on this. This is that moisture that's feeding in up to the north. So this is that next front, but this one does not zoom down for us in the Caribbean, right? I showed you that, kind of works across, so it's not going to be a big factor as far as those temperatures are concerned. Now watch how things build as this next system moves in. Bay of Campeche to the north, right through the Gulf. Look at those seas starting to build over toward the Atlantic, Caribbean, running at a couple meters or even higher in some spots, so 7, 8, 9 feet. Meters here, feet here to keep everyone covered. I've been watching your comments too. A few folks in the waters of the Atlantic, though the Atlantic is going to be choppy to rough as we go over the next, next while, we'll call it that. But right through the Caribbean, much of the Caribbean, eastern, central, even into the western Caribbean, bit more of a chop as we work our way into the upcoming weekend. So a heads up on that. Now we're mainly dry. Freeport over toward New Providence, Florida Keys, back through Cuba, Turks and Caicos, the Dominican Republic, hit or miss shower. And here we are in Jamaica, Cayman Islands. Not a lot, but a couple little showers, especially eastern end of Jamaica. We may get a few spots getting half of an inch of rain, maybe about 10 millimeters of rain. Same thing in the DR. Watching over toward the Dominican Republic, couple sprinkles possible in Haiti. But where you see the blues, that's not a lot. See right in here, this brighter color showing up? That's the tail end of that little front. That's not really a factor. May spin in a shower, just kind of help us with a shower or two. British and U.S. Virgin Islands may get one or two, Tortola over towards St. Croix. But we get back toward Trinidad and Tobago, couple additional showers. We may get a few spots over the next 3 days that get about 2 inches of rain or 50 millimeters of rain. I'll be watching your comments. Spotty shower, Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia, Barbados, St. Vincent the Grenadines, over toward Grenada. Still a little more Guyana and parts of Suriname. And there are some of those spotty showers that we're watching, especially coastal sections, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, Belize. Our rain chance chance has gone down some. Same thing with the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico. We're dry across Mexico City. And of course, watching that moisture this morning building in parts of Texas. So you see the rain chance about 30 to 40% favoring our eastern sections of Jamaica. Cayman Islands were mainly dry. May get a little shower or two. Then we swing back toward Trinidad and Tobago. Not a washout. Southern zones especially, about a 50% chance of a couple of those spotty showers. 30 to 40% chance in Barbados. Looking at about a 40% chance today in St. Lucia. A little passing shower will be possible. Could get a couple of those in Grenada. Rain chance tomorrow running at 30%. We do that again, St. Vincent the Grenadines. 50% chance today. If you get a shower, won't last too long. 30% chance for tomorrow. Very isolated in Martinique, a 30% chance, and a 30% chance the next couple of days for us in Dominica. Rain chance on the low side, Guadeloupe tomorrow and Friday. Just that 20% chance, and a 20% chance today, Antigua, Barbuda, about a 30% chance for tomorrow. St. Kitts, Nevis, Montserrat, rain chance stays on the low side. Could get a couple little passing showers. This is with that front that will be nearby. Again, not a big difference, but a 40% chance tomorrow, Anguilla and St. Bart's. St. Martin, Sebastian, not much. 30% chance in Puerto Rico today. 20 to 30% chance, about a 30% chance tomorrow and Friday, USA and British Virgin Islands. Bahamas, we're generally on the dry side. Could get a brief shower or two. Turks and Caicos, otherwise looking good. Dominican Republic, though, the rain chance does bump up a little bit. We're going to be up to about a 30-40% chance as we work our way over the next 2 days. Little passing shower possible, maybe a few sprinkles in Haiti. Belize, you see our rain chance. I mentioned how it's down. Just a 30% chance for today. 20 to 30% chance in Aruba. 20 to 30% chance right through Curacao and Bonaire. Rain chance about 50%. Northern ends of Guyana, and still a 60% chance northern and even central sections of Suriname as we go throughout the day ahead. Cuba, we're mainly dry with that warmer weather that's in play. 30% chance of rain the next couple of days. Costa Rica and Panama. About a 40% chance, though, today in Nicaragua, and about a 40% chance favoring eastern sections of Honduras. Rain chance only 20%. Guatemala and El Salvador. Mexico City, we're generally dry as we continue to warm up. Rain chance stays on the lower side. Yucatan Peninsula, I mentioned, only a 20% chance of a shower. Northern Colombia, we're mainly dry. 30% chance as we work our way back through northern Venezuela. 20% chance in Bermuda, just watching these fronts that will be scooting by. So the cold front on the move, that long stretching front, but it doesn't dive too far down to the south. Where we have that collision of air masses, there will be that severe weather threat with it. Watching out for the snow on the north side that will eventually be building, but we continue with that warmth in the Caribbean and monitoring the earthquake activity. We did have one, I think it was yesterday morning, near San Andres, so off the coast of Honduras, off the coast of Nicaragua. I'll keep an eye on that activity. Hope you're doing well. Have a great rest of your day.